All right, everybody, thank you for joining us. I am Sam Ganem, technically head of lender relations here at HomeLight. And just to get started, one, thanks for coming. This is our first exclusive event for lender partners to join. And we're excited to roll our products out to you all, introduce more ideas, and introduce our panelists here and our keynote speakers to help show you how they're generating business and just talk about how to generate more business in a challenging market in general. We're going to start off here with my younger brother, Nick Friedman, technically growth lord here at HomeLight.
Thank you, Sam. I just am now finding out that I'm your younger brother. So it's been a long time coming. So thanks for that announcement here publicly. I'm Nick. I'm the growth lord at HomeLight. Laura, if you want to go to the next slide here. We had a dream about 9 months ago to bring our product Buy Before You Sell to the world. We started off earlier this year with 5 loan officers working with us kind of in early Q1, just kind of testing through the product and trying to bring it to life. And Laura, if you click one more time, I'm now excited to announce that we have over 3,200 loan officers using the product, and that's continuing to grow extremely quickly. So I'm super excited about that. We're going to talk about that today. We're also just going to talk about the general market, some challenges, and the people that we have speaking today are all super awesome and top notch in their business. So I'm going to pass it back off to Sam. But thank you all seriously for being here. We could not have achieved this without many of you on this call.
So in recent years, obviously, the real estate and mortgage business has seen unprecedented and unpredictable changes, from industry low rates to rates coming back up and stalling business for many aspects of the industry in general. HomeLight in recent years has adopted this lender-facing model where we can give lenders more innovative products and create new products to help loan originators separate themselves from the rest of the competition. Today, our guests are graciously going to share some industry secrets that they're using to help grow their business. We can't thank them enough for coming. We are going to open it up with Will Pendleton, who's our keynote speaker, but we also have Blake Hyatt, John Schrum, and Heidi Gravert. All phenomenal loan officers who have bought in on our concept of changing the industries with new products in general, but are also willing to help others succeed. And I think by the end of this, hopefully you pull some information out of here that you didn't know before or that you are interested in using. Blake, John, and Heidi are also willing to share their email and their contact information and help spread the love across the country. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce a good friend of mine, Will Pendleton, Chief Revenue Officer from the Loan Store, our exclusive wholesale investor for Buy Before You Sell.
Thank you very much. And I'm sharing my screens. Give me 1 second and I'll jump in. Can you see it? Beautiful. All right. So thanks, Sam. I'm really happy to be partnered with you guys. I'm going to start with a little bit of a market overview, a lot of which is just setting the context for the value of differentiation and innovation in our business. We're in a very challenging environment, as we all are very well versed. One of the more dramatic swings that we've seen, I would have answered the question just now. It wouldn't let me, but I've been in just over 20 years. And obviously we've seen some very high highs and very low lows here recently in this big market swing over the last couple of years. So when we look to 2024, we really expect the higher for longer. I'll go into kind of the forecast for interest rates from a couple of different sources on the next slide. And then obviously we're in a very constrained inventory situation, which we expect to persist, which will be driven and supported by elevated interest rates going through 2024. And obviously what that produces is the most challenged affordability scenario that we've seen, right, in history. So with all of that, there are still opportunities within the market that we're pursuing. And so I'm going to go through and kind of walk you through those numbers that set the context for level setting what to expect in 2024. So if you look at the slide, we're saying the MBA, Fannie, and NAR are all expecting rates to moderate somewhat, but you see they're not going back down to 5% or 4% anytime soon. Higher for longer is the standard, I believe. The Fed is still committed to that, but we're looking at a consensus that rates are going to start somewhere in the sevens to high sixes, and then moderate a bit as we go through 2024. So, one key stat obviously is when you look at the population of individuals who currently have their mortgages, we've got 62% of the individuals that currently have existing mortgages that are below 4%, right? So that's creating that inventory scenario where we've got a lot of trapped demand. They're not wanting to leave the sub 4% interest rate and move to a 7.5% interest rate. Obviously, that's trapping a lot of the movement and demand within the market. So more to come there as we look to solve for those scenarios and opportunities and open things up. So when you look at the net result of the continued high interest rates and the lack of movement we've in interest rates, and the lack of inventory, which is keeping home prices really high, it creates the lowest affordability that we've seen. Obviously we had in 2022 we started at 3.2 in January, only to see interest rates jump to 7.76 here recently, which is causing that big sharp decline in affordability, which we expect to persist. Although rates will moderate, affordability is still going to be very much constrained going through 2024. Now, all that sounds pretty grim, right? So where do we find opportunity, and what really is the perspective of a lender in this environment? Just to give you a little bit of context, I operate, TLS, which is the loan store, as Sam and Nick mentioned. We're very strong partners with HomeLight. We have 62,000 active loan originators that can send us a loan on any given day. So we have the third largest LO network in wholesale. And our outlook is that we're prepared to continue to operate in a very challenging environment because our principles are as such, right? So really what we're focused on is having a higher service delivery standard, because loans are fewer, right? Transactions are limited in an environment like this. So there's less opportunity, and every loan counts just that much more. So we drive our teams and create our systems and process to have the top-notch service, which all of your referral partners need and demand in an environment like this where fewer transactions is the norm. Product diversification is the other key area of focus for us. Really, when I see, and I'll speak more in specific terms to those products that we see in the market and that we're developing now, but when we see successful originators on our platform and we engage with them to understand what they're doing, really excited to hear from the panel around best practices from them. But what we see consistently is that people are using product to diversify their offering, to differentiate themselves, and to find more opportunities in a challenging environment. So that's obviously one of our biggest areas of focus, and it's what brings us to our HomeLight partnership today. And then innovation. Innovation, what I mean by innovation is finding ways to open things up, right? Solving for the issues that are prevailing and persist in our current market. When we look at the market, the biggest issues are obviously interest rates, which we have very little to no influence over. Obviously, we have buy downs where we can leverage seller credits to buy interest rates down for a temporary period of time. I think that's a very important solution in the market. But when I talk about innovation, that's taking the next step to actually create demand, to actually create movement in the market. And I have to give credence and credit to the HomeLight team, because they're a great source of innovation. Digging deep to solve some of these challenges. And really, in my view, the biggest challenge is not interest rates. It's really the inventory scenario that we have right now. So how do we find more ways to create movement in the market. And that's what we're very focused on, very tightly aligned with our partners at HomeLight to try to bring new innovation into the market. So we're investing in innovation, whether it's technology to provide efficiencies so that we can better scale when things turn and opportunities present themselves, but really looking to finding product solutions that will create movement and opportunity within the market and solve for some of the challenges that we mentioned. So when we look at the traits and tactics of our most successful originations partners, I know we're going to hear from a great panel, and I'm dying to hear what these guys have to say about, their perspectives. What I'm seeing is frequent and consistent communication and connection. That's the key, right? So it's leveraging every product, leveraging yourself as the source for solutions, and then having consistent engagement with the customer base. The best LOs are really rolling up their sleeves. They're going deep and they're going wide, and they're finding creative ways to engage with their customers because, the demand is there, whether it's the demand or need for accessing or tapping into their equity. That the American consumer has record, over $1 trillion in credit card debt. Obviously, the one good part about the inventory scenario that we talked about is that values are still high. So home equity is at a record level. So the HELOC and the focus that we've had around tapping into that equity, allowing consumers to access liquidity from their equity and consolidate debt, that's huge. But those customers aren't going to raise their hands, right? A lot of times they're not going to raise their hands. They're just going to try to solve for that problem on their own. Maybe they're not comfortable reaching out, and they'll go somewhere else if you don't stay engaged with them. So the best LOs, our favorite partners, the partners that are still thriving in this challenging environment, are the ones who are consistently and aggressively engaged with their customer base, who are known as the source for solutions, whether it's hard money, buy downs. We have partners who are doing solar and energy efficient products, right? So all kinds of ways to continue to add value to your customer base. That's really going to enable you and allow you to win across any market cycle. Reverse mortgages is something that we're seeing as more prevalent. And then obviously the buy before you sell. I'll plug it for a second, guys, because I'm very passionate about this. This product, as we've been engaged with HomeLight and our partners there, we have seen such a level of interest from the real estate market, from the fact of there is so much need for this product. And it really has been an awareness campaign. It's been very exciting, as we've seen time after time. We present this to realtors and to brokers, and they come back and they want more. And then we've seen consistent growth every week. As Nick just showed us, the growth of originators who are using the product is immense, and it's really exciting to see. But why is that? It's because the product solves for a need in the marketplace, right? It really does alleviate the pressure and stress that a family has to undergo in considering that next move, especially in this environment. So the buy before you sell program is amazing. It's been fantastic. And, I'm kind of a numbers guy, and I study our production reporting and market trends all the time. And, I love looking at that one report because it goes up every week, despite the fact that we're going into seasonality, despite the fact that rates have gone up significantly in the last several months. We see more leads, and we see more people engaging and using the buy before you sell product to help families across the country. And that gets me really excited. So, that's the kind of high level overview of what I'm seeing from my chair as I help to create products and opportunities and support our originator base of over 60,000. So with that, I'm going to kick it back over to you, Sam, and I'll stop my screen share, or you can take it back.
Thank you, Will. No, we couldn't be more happy to partner with the Loan Store, and what they're doing for product innovation and changing the game for mortgage brokers is truly impressive. Their product line is phenomenal. If you have not looked at their product line, please go check out their website. They are separating themselves from the rest of the industry, and I can guarantee there's only more and better products to come. Wink, wink. So keep an eye on them in the near future if you're a mortgage broker. I'm going to introduce our panelists here. Let's see if we can get access to the deck again, Laura. But in the mean, Laura, are you there?
Yep. Sorry, Will, you just have to stop sharing your screen. Oh, there you go.
Beautiful. No, so we're gonna open this up to a few questions. We're gonna ask Heidi, Blake, and John some questions on how they grow their business and how they separate themselves from the competition. Again, this is so nice of them to break this down for us and to come here today. But to introduce them, Heidi Gravert is essentially my Colorado counterpart here. She's bought into buy before you sell faster than any other loan officer I've ever seen. She's used the product to grow her purchase business, among other things. And we love working with Heidi. Her customer service is excellent. The way she treats clients is second to none, no doubt about it. Heidi, before I introduce anybody else, do you want to say hello?
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
She's phenomenal. And if you ever need anything in the Colorado market, she's your go-to girl. Blake Hyatt is from Absolute Home Mortgage. He is an innovator and always bringing new concepts to the table. I love working with Blake. Absolute's based on the East Coast. He's technically in Maryland, but could help you out anywhere on the East Coast. Blake and I continuously riff back and forth on bad ideas sometimes, mostly good ideas though, and try to come up with what's going to help him grow his business. So I love working with Blake. Blake, thank you for joining us. Absolute's one of our best partners so far. And then John Schrum, Arbor Financial Group. John, I had the pleasure of meeting John a couple weeks ago. Thanks for having me, Arbor. John's reputation is second to none. He is phenomenal at managing partnerships. He clearly treats his clients with respect and expects the same out of his partners. So I hope we can reciprocate the favor there for you, John. But we're gonna jump into this and kind of go through how these loan officers are generating business in this challenging market. To get things started, Heidi, do you want to start here and we'll pass it down the line? But
Sure. Yeah, Sam, thank you so much for the kind words. My goodness. I have to say, when the Buy Before You Sell program was first advertised to me back in March, I cannot even begin to tell you. It was a program, and mind you, I play in a non-QM world too. So, I mean, I've played with some pretty fun loan tools, but this one, to say I was excited about, is an understatement. And I love that you say that I grasp it, and that is how I felt. I mean, what a game changer. And I'm so sad I didn't have this product like 5-6 years ago. And in fact, I felt like there was such a demand for it that I personally looked at building a similar type of program for myself. I was lining up investors, all that good stuff, probably 3 years ago. But when I looked at the total picture of it for me and my position, it was just too much of a risk profile for me to feel comfortable with moving forward. So I already kind of understood the concept. I was already bought into it. Like I said, it was something that I personally, was already, vested into. So yeah, it has been an amazing product for me to offer those solutions, but it's something that has opened up the door of opportunity for me to pick up new realtor relationships. It's a talking point to help those agents to feel more empowered about picking up listings, offering solutions to buyers, giving those agents a talking point to go talk to their past clients. It's just been a phenomenal product, and I just have.
Heidi, you got muted.
Heidi, someone muted you. I thought my speakers broke.
Or you may be able to unmute on your end.
I know.
Hi.
I was able to ask to unmute, but I wasn't able to actually unmute.
Heidi, we lost you.
So appreciate it.
There she is.
So, did you
Heidi, we
lose me?
lost you for 5 seconds. But...
Oh, sorry. But anyway, so I don't know if just to kind of share generating new business and clients. Yeah, I just can't say enough. You know, it is a relationship business without a doubt. And I just have to say, you know, during 2020, 21, I heard so many loan officers kind of disparage real estate agents. Refis will come and go, but purchases, if you are a purchased, focused loan officer, you will be here forever, right? It doesn't matter what the market is. If you are constantly working on and growing those relationships, you will be here through the toughest of times. If I just can't say enough, people, you know, will tell me, "Oh, I love your job. I think I'm, you know, pretty good with numbers." I'm like, the numbers is such a small part of what we do. It is relationship, relationship, relationship. Just can't say enough about that. So
Thank you, Heidi. No, that was phenomenal. Sorry we lost you for a second there, but
no worries.
I thank you for breaking down how you're using it to generate new business. But John, how are you using buy before you sell to generate new business or clients? And how are you working with your partner agents to generate more business? Is there anything particular going on your end?
Well, hello, everyone. Well, I don't know. Is there anything else I could say that Heidi didn't say? All right. But no, I mean, I think touching base with like Heidi said, you know, refinances come and go. We are a relationship-based business, 100%. I think it's, you know, education is a big part for me. The buy before you sell is absolutely a speaking point, right? And, you know, for myself, I've got agents that I kind of stalk through a certain system. And it's agents that I want to work with that I might not necessarily have a relationship with. I mean, you know, I've got agents that I've worked with for multiple years. We're talking 10 or 15 years. But at the end of the day, you never know if they're going to move out of the market or they're going to tell me, "Hey, John, I'm retiring. I'm done." So I'm still a hunter. That's just who I am. So, you know, every week I'm trying to set new appointments with new agents, a possibility for a new relationship, and having this product to be able to talk about and educate on. It's amazing. And hopefully this will change with time, but it's amazing how many agents out there just don't know, right? Well, I've heard of a bridge before. Well, this is not a bridge, guys, right? That's it. So, you know, and explain to the agent how this product could allow someone to be in a home before they're even closed on their home. And how would that look on a listing presentation? So again, like Heidi said, it's a speaking point. You know, you're not just calling an agent going, "Hey, I'm fantastic. I can close in 20 days. Yeah, well, great. You know, you got to have something that you can bring to the table that's going to help them build their business, right? My job is to help my agent build their business, and selfishly, hopefully, I get more business from it. But that's a key point for the buy before sell product for me, is just opening up a new conversation, new relationship. So.
Yeah, thank you for touching on education there. I say a lot in my webinars, education is messaging, or education and messaging is everything. Thank you for joining us. It's part of the reason we're here today. But when you're speaking to clients and speaking to agents, all you can do is properly educate them on the products you have and the solutions you have. And it's clear that's a helpful tactic, John. Blake, anything we missed there?
No, I think we hit it all. I think the biggest thing that I take from this program is right off of the slide deck that you guys gave us when we picked up the program, right? First slide of the Home Light Buy Before You Sell product is 56% of people buying their next house use the funds from their current house. Well, if right now we're in a market where no one can get an offer accepted that is contingent, this helps 56% of those buyers get the next house, right? Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of customers that maybe can do 5% down, maybe recast their mortgage later. But this product gave me the ability to say to a customer, "I have an option for you. Yes, I do understand that interest rates are here. Yes, I do understand it's extremely competitive, but now you don't have an excuse not to write on this house if you really like it." So not only did it help me get in front of more agents, educate them on a new product that's out there, but it also kind of helped me breeze through my clients of who is actually ready to go and who is not ready to go. So I'll let you keep rolling, Sam.
No, thank you, Blake. Yeah, for those who don't know, I guess we should have introduced buy before you sell a little bit. If you've never heard of buy before you sell, it's a modern bridge solution designed to help pending sale contingent clients move forward on their new purchase mortgage. Think about how many of your clients come through the door with an 86% DTI and don't have a solution, right? Or you send them back out into the market to sell their home and you never see them again. Buy before you sell is that solution for you to advertise yourself to agents as the person with this contingency buster, but also just help more clients in general and help solve problems that you probably didn't have access to before, or a solution that you didn't have access to before. Blake, your answer was kind of a perfect transition to our next question. But in a high interest rate market, what types of products do you think will emerge as important to buyers and sellers?
It's like I knew the questions before you asked them, Sam. So look, and we had a lot of fun. Myself and the other panel members had a lot of really good points with this, and I'm not going to steal everybody else's thunder. But look, the biggest thing with this program, and especially in a market like this, right? Today's market, what are your agents looking for, right? They're looking to be innovative, and they're looking for you to help their customers go under contract. Staying away from talking about buy before you sell for a second, we're still doing all the normal things, right? We're still calling the listing agents. We're still reaching out to our prospective, listing agents that have the contracts that we're putting in. We're calling those agents and saying, hey, these are really, really well pre-approved customers. We're doing all those very simple things to keep the activity and make sure our buyers are front and center when they're putting in an offer. But then to get more agents, to get more conversation points going right now, we're going to our agents and saying, hey, talk to us about a lot of the concerns of your buyers. Where are your buyers not writing offers? Why aren't they writing offers? And a lot of times they're coming to us and they're saying interest rates are tough, which we just said, Sam, you just said in the first part, in a high interest rate environment, right? Interest rates are high. It's very competitive. Well, we use that as leverage. We say to our buyers, hey, we do know interest rates are high. We do know that the market is competitive, but this is why we have option A, B, and C, right? We're going through the different options. This is just an option. And I can't not help but look at the chat. And I saw Jim's question about the 2.4% fee. So I'm going to segue my answer into that. But the biggest thing is we're going to our buyers and we're saying this is an option for them to help them achieve in a tough market, right? We're using a lot of these programs to hopefully not only influence our buyers to be stronger candidates when they go and put an offer on a house, but we're also trying to make them feel better that there is options for them. Now, Jim, to answer your question on that 2.4% fee that HomeLight charges, that's a small fee considering without the program, they're not getting the house, right? And the other thing is even though that is a 2.4% fee, it also gives them the luxury to sell their house slowly, right? They have 90 days from the day that the house closes. That means they have 90 days from the day that they purchase their new house to then go sell. They don't need to fire sell. They can take the highest offer and they could really go in and out of contract probably 2 or 3 times before they even have to worry about HomeLight buying it.
Thanks, Blake. Yeah, and thanks for going to bat for me there. Always good to have someone on your back. Heidi, is there, other than buy before you sell? I mean, we know buy before you sell is the best product in mortgage, but other than buy before you sell, is there anything that you can think of that would help?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 4 years ago, being a broker, yes, I think the value wasn't quite as much appreciated as it is today. Being a broker, we have the opportunity to be able to pivot quickly. Unlike, the slow moving retail or, credit union or whatever, I cannot say enough about putting various types of loan products in your arsenal. Just to be able to pick up the telephone and tell an agent, yeah, of course I can do a rent out. Of course I can do a non-warrantable condo. Of course I can do whatever, a 1 year, 12 months personal bank statement loan. I can do a no income, whatever. And what's funny is that many times those conversations, I start off with a client and we're looking at one of those whiz bang, whatever little specialty loan programs, and they end up just being a normal VA loan for me, or they end up being a normal conventional loan. I will say this year, I definitely have done more non-QM than I've done, in previous years. We're definitely doing some different stuff, but your agents, they're nervous as well. And you are the expert. You are the solution provider. You are the encourager. It's kind of cute and fun just to see my agents. They're excited about what I'm putting in front of them. And it gives them the motivation that they need to get out there and, beat the bushes and, bring in clients. So, yeah. I guess one final piece specifically as it relates to the high interest rate market, I just tell people, I'm like, look, we've gotten very good at massaging affordability for homes. Don't let that scare you. With the temporary buy downs and permanent rate, buy downs, concessions, running all of those numbers. It's just, really, again, relationship, encouragement, and being that go-to expert.
No, thank you, Heidi. Phenomenal points. I think bank statement loans, I hear a lot about them these days. DSCR is talk of the town, non-QM's talk of the town. Yeah. Anything a broker or a loan officer can do to separate themselves from the rest of the competition is not just going to allow you to market yourself differently, but it's going to help buyers and sellers, to get back to the original question.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
John, anything we missed there?
Well, no, I think Heidi said it very well. And something that Will had mentioned too, in this market, you don't be afraid to go deep and go wide, right? So know all the products like Heidi had mentioned, right? It used to be we'd be in the market and I would tell, like when I was very new in the market, I'm like, hey, I'm going to go niche. I'm just going to do this type of loan and this is what I'm going to do. Today, it's educating myself on every type of product that's out there, because you never know where a loan's going to come from, So that's, I would definitely, learn your reverse, learn your DSCR, learn your bank statement product, learn your P&L product, learn about the equity position. Like Heidi had mentioned, and Will had mentioned too, the amount of credit card debt and the inflation and rates on an APR right now. We did a debt consolidation campaign with my company that we set up through our technology. And within 24 hours, I had 26 engagements from my past clients contacting me going, hey, John, how do I do this? How do I get into this equity in my home? Because they don't want to touch the first. But I'll tell you what, that conversation went from talking about debt consolidation, looking at equity to, hey, we're possibly looking at an investment property down the road. How do we do that? How do we structure it? Right. So it's amazing how when you go deep, you go wide, you start to educate yourself on the different products that you have. Like Heidi said, you become an expert. That's what you need to be in this market. You need to know everything that you possibly can and put that net out as wide as you possibly can.
And Will, I saw you jump in there. What the Loan Store is doing to separate themselves and give more products to mortgage brokers to help more clients is phenomenal. Do you want to touch on your HELOC product or anything like that?
Yeah, just to hone in on what John was saying, I connect with a lot of originators in person, and I'm always on the phone talking to our favorites, and going deep, going wide, finding opportunities, creating opportunities. That's kind of the theme, especially as this last little whipsaw, 50, 60 basis points has happened in primary origination mortgage rates. You've seen, and the great thing is, from my personal perspective, as just a fan of the business, someone who loves mortgage banking and real estate, is the resilience of the originators out there, right? We're seeing incredible resilience. People aren't backing away, aren't backing down. I think the rats have already got off the ship, so to say, earlier this year. And we're left where we really do have the professionals in this industry left. And they are, like, consumers need help, right? They really do. And without our help, without our guidance, they're going to find suboptimal situations, or they're going to procrastinate to the point where now they're potentially in trouble. And so that's when they get taken advantage of. So, it's the discipline and proactive nature of staying engaged with your customer base, going deep, going wide, offering all the solutions. To John's point, that's when they raise, hey, you know what? Once we solve this current need, I do want to talk to you about that next opportunity, right? So stay engaged, keep your customers, provide the solutions that they need to get them through a tough time, right? Like it's a tough time in our business, but the consumers are getting crushed too. Credit card interest rates are through the roof. You're seeing credit card balances continue to increase. You know, I went to the store yesterday, got a gallon of milk for $7. I mean, inflation is real. It's oppressive. And so, you know, we've got to really help people to get to the other side of this market. And the way that we do that is we maintain our expertise. Me as a lender, I find it, you know, it's really my responsibility to really go deep with our investors, which is what we're consistently doing, and saying, you know, banging our head against the wall to say, okay, how do we solve for the challenge that is, you know, the current inventory scenario, right? What can we do to help home builders? What can we do to be creative and find other financial solutions that will help allow people to move, right? So I get excited about it because I do see some opportunities that are going to be meaningful for you guys in the short term, and certainly more to come as I kind of tease that one, Sam.
Well, thanks, Will. Good to hear you're still drinking milk. John, maybe you could answer this one for us. I think I think what we've got is, one, more products. The wider you spread yourself, become a product expert, you're going to help more buyers and sellers, and agents are going to see you as a differentiator in the market. But even with all these products, how do you handle objections and concerns from potential clients? And what strategies have you found effective in turning prospects into clients?
Well, you know, I think it comes back to the relationship again, right? You know, for me, it's like I put in the notes, I think, right? Sit down and shut up and listen. You know, I think too many loan officers jump right into, hey, here's your programs, here's what we're going to do. It's more about, hey, what's your goals? You know, when I'm talking to a first-time home buyer, it's what is your goal for this house? Do you see yourself being in there for the next 5 years, 30 years? Is this a stepping stone for you? And then just shut up and let them talk, you know, and let them explain what it is that they're looking to do. And that can really change the positioning of what you're doing for somebody, right? And then you take yourself out of the equation that you're just a numbers guy. Eventually, it is going to be numbers. It is going to be about payment. It's going to be about, is this an asset or a liability for the clients? And one thing I always try to talk about is that when we're buying a house, I want it to be your biggest asset, not your liability. So how do we leverage that in this type of market? So it's having those conversations first. And then Blake, I think he nailed it, man. It's giving somebody 3 options, right? Maybe 4. You don't want to overstretch it. When I do a loan proposal for a client, it's typically 3 options. And it's, hey, this is our foundation that we're starting with. Which option fits you best? What's going to work best for your family? What's going to work best for your future? And again, then you're taking the numbers out, right? You're becoming their consultant. You're helping them. You're not just talking interest rate and monthly payments.
This is becoming a master class, not just a mastermind. This is phenomenal. Blake, John covered some of your points there, but anything else you want to touch there on how you're overcoming objections from clients?
Yeah, no, John, you hit the nail on the head, right? 3 options, letting your customer know, hey, option 1, 2, 3, don't make them feel pressured to pick one. Let them know you're their, you know, friend, you're their advisor. I always say I'm here to help you with the numbers, not make the decision for you, but I'm here to be a friend and talk you through it. One of the humbling things that I will say, because you said customers' concerns, look, we do this every day. And I say this to my clients now because I really mean it. My wife and I just bought our forever home in September. I hope we never move, but this is the house we're going to stay in forever. And oh my God, could I have picked the worst time to buy, right? We were joking about it on our call the other day. It's like interest rates were at their highest. We probably had value peaks. But what it did was it gave me appreciation for our customers on what they are going through. And guys, we all need to remember our customers in this market right now are going through a lot to fight in this market. So have some humility to, you know, be there for them, talk through things with them, give them their options, but also just remind them that you're the advisor for them, because then instead of them coming at you with the objections, they're coming at you more with, hey, this is a struggle for me. Can you walk me through this, or can you talk through this? And that's why I mentioned in the beginning, hit the objections up front. Tell the customer, hey, yeah, the interest rates are high, but inventory isn't stacking up on us. There's going to be, rates are going to drop eventually. Don't put a day or time on it, but say eventually, because once interest rates do drop, you know, we're not going to see a spike in inventory. We're just going to see people fighting again, and home appreciation will continue. I have a hard time when I make those points to customers. I haven't really had anybody make an objection on why it's going to start going the other way. So just make sure you're giving them facts. Be a part of the market, understand the market. Knowledge is key in this market. And that's kind of how we talk to our customers.
I love it. Hitting on the sensitivity piece, hitting on the relating to the clients, and knowledge is power, right? All you can do is help people out there. Heidi, we know you're the sweetest lady around and you have no trouble hanging on to customers, but what's your secret? Give us the secret sauce.
Well, I guess it kind of helps that I'm a mom of adult children, and I kind of wear the mama bear badge just a little bit. But yeah, 100% what the guy said. I mean, I tell people all the time, my tagline is I'm your lone Sherpa. I'm here to guide you through the process. When you have people that have concerns, that's coming from a place of fear. And I want to address that. I want to address those concerns. I want to have those conversations. I can't say enough about meeting and face to face. If you can do that with people, and I find really the young people, 30 years and under, they really like meeting face to face. I have the obnoxiously large computer monitor on a lazy Susan. We meet, we look at the numbers together, and it's very, very reassuring to do that. One of the biggest questions that I get is it a good time to buy now? And there were some good points made in our first call together, but what was it? Blake said, when is the best time to buy a house? The answer was yesterday. But I do let people know, hey, look, we went from cuckoo crazy house 2 years ago with, showings every 15 minutes and, crazy over asking. Well, that demand didn't go away. It's still there. It's a pent up demand. And I do think that when we see rates come down, we are going to see the frenzy again. We saw it in the springtime when rates dropped in March, and my business just went, I mean, it was crazy. I got like 9 contracts in within 2 weeks in March. It was nuts. But so that's not going to go anywhere. I just tell folks, I'm like, ultimately it's up to you. Pick your poison. You're either, going to be taking your time and shopping for a house that's really going to fit your family and not going to have so much buyer regret. Yes, you're going to be looking at the higher interest rate. But, or you wait, and I think it's going to be, the fur is going to fly, and I think it's going to be duking it out for houses once we see rates come down. So
Sticking to your guns. It seems to be working for you, Heidi.
Yeah.
And I thought lazy Susans were just for Scrabble boards, but apparently they're for pitching clients as well.
Because you just turn that screen around and everybody's looking at the same numbers. It's great.
Will, have you got something there?
Yeah, I was just doing my morning reading this morning. Everybody's still anticipating, this is not applicable to every market, but every source is anticipating continued appreciation next year, right? So I think, just to underscore the point that many of our panelists have made, home prices are not going down in most markets. And so the cost of waiting is real. And then when rates do go down, if they moderate down to 6%, like some are hoping and saying that they will, then just think of the competitive factor, right? We're going to be right back into a situation where you guys have to dust off that cash offer product, right?
Cash compete. You want to bring it back, Will?
Hey, I had some fun with it. It was just, limited time frame. I mean, we could have really run in a different market, right?
That was my baby. I kind of missed it, actually. Not
really.
Fun. No, another perfect transition, almost like we prepared this, but and feel free to anyone who wants to jump in first, but how do you stay up to date with industry trends and market dynamics to adapt your approach and and stay competitive in this market? We know Will wakes up and reads the papers, but anybody else, what are you using to stay competitive or predict what you're going to do next week or next month or in the next 6 months? Is there anything that stands out for you all?
I'll pop in. Yeah, I just can't say enough. I network with both retail and wholesale loan officers, broker owners, and retail, managers here, even in town. Broker forums. My account executives have been massive sources of information, but I don't know. I just think networking within your community, even with your competition, there's just so much to take in and digest. I think it's very difficult as a single person to wrap your arms around everything. And for me, sometimes it's really nice just to have a perspective from somebody else on what they think about a situation. I think if you can keep yourself malleable and flexible and that you don't know everything and you recognize and understand that things are constantly changing, I think it's just important to have a strong network of, other folks that are in the industry.
Friends go a long way.
Friends, exactly. And you can commiserate together too. Yeah.
Yep. And like Heidi was saying, it's, just to give everybody an example, John and Heidi and I were all on a call last week. John said a loan product and Heidi and I was like, jaws hit the floor. Like, where did you get that product? And not even a second. John's like, I got you guys. I'm going to shoot out an email, connect you with my broker and hopefully help you guys with that. And that's huge in this market and that's why I think everybody can see Heidi and John and I jumped on this call and really got excited for this panel because we wanted to share our success with this product because, we can't service. There's enough competition out there for, there's enough customers out there to feed everybody. And it's very unlikely that if you network with people within your network, you're going to get more out of working with them, talking with them, sharing information than just beating them on maybe 1 or 2 deals a year. We network within our branch, outside of our branch. We work with a lot of other loan officers, a lot of brokers. We set up relationships at local credit unions that don't have the same product matrices that we have. So maybe they can send us a couple of programs maybe a couple lower level FHAs that maybe they don't service. And then we broker out, some of our bridge loans or some of our seconds or HELOCs that we might not be the best in the market at. And it gives an opportunity to put your name out there, build your brand, which I think is the most important thing right now, because let's just face it, none of us are having a record-breaking year in terms of loan origination, but it doesn't mean you can't set the stage for yourself in future years to kind of knock your socks off in regards to volume growth. And I think this year, if you're not working on yourself in terms of going on, listening to podcasts, growing your knowledge, as well as growing your network, you really missed the boat, but it's never too late to change. I think there's still time to do that.
I like the hit podcast. Yeah. We've actually got a special guest in the audience, Randy Vance, Truth in Lending host, podcast on Spotify. Go check it out. I was on there last week. It's kind of cool.
There you go.
I just would like to piggyback on what Blake had to say. Even if you're not, swimming in loans right now, understanding that what you're doing today is impacting what your business looks like 90 days from today.
Yep.
So it's, take heart, stay encouraged, keep doing the things. You'll see some manifestation out of it, eventually. But think about that 90 days from today. You're building that today. So.
And I would say just from a technology base, I mean, it's something that people are interested in. I have coffee with Barry Habib every morning on the MBS highway, not personally, but for me, And it depends on the customer, but I think it's good information that they share, right? I watched that ticker. In fact, I'm watching it right now. I've got to jump off the phone to make some calls. So, but yeah, and I have another system called List Reports. It's another system that I use that I highly recommend. It's a great way to find out what's happening in your local market. What's happening in the listing, who has escrows that have been delayed. I think that's a great call to make. You can look and see, hey, this one's been on, been on the market now for, over 120 days. What's going on? Or it says it's an escrow and it hasn't closed. But it's a great system to stock agents. And I say that because I can literally go in and say, hey, if I want to check out Tim Smith and see what's happening and how many listings he has and what he's closed on the buy side, what he has on the listing side, then I can go into List Reports and literally click on it and get an alert every time he has something new come up in the market. So that's a great tool is just something that I use. Great way to hunt, and find some new relationships.
And Sam, just to go on what John was saying, if I said to John, how many basis points are we up right now? He would know we're 73 basis points up. That is correct. That's a change in the market. Him and I were not doing that 4 years ago, 2 years ago. We did not watch and listen to Barry and keep up on what interest rates are doing. That's the evolution of a loan officer, like Will was even saying. You have to change in this market. You have to adapt. You have to come up with new solutions and find the solutions.
I love it. Working smart's everything, right? We'll try not to take too much of your time, John. I know you got to go lock 5 people in, so we get it. We get it. That's going to wrap up our open discussion, at least. You all are phenomenal, Heidi, John, Blake, and of course, Will. I can't thank you enough for being here. You all are experts in the industry. You've made it clear today. You've proven it every day since we've met. Happy or lucky to know you all. Love working with you all. You guys are becoming family. That's my line all the time, but you guys are truly becoming family, and you can call me whenever you have a question. But guests, or I should say participants, let's open this up to a quick Q&A, and then we'll make sure we get into the final steps and pull the ticket for a raffle and an email and send out everyone's contact information. So if you have a question for Heidi, Blake, or John, or even Will, we'll make sure you get access to their information and can help share industry secrets. Or if you have a client that needs to do a deal in California, please call John. Or if you have a deal in Heidi, please call Heidi. And of course, it seems like Blake lives in every state on the East Coast, but call Blake for the East Coast. We've got a couple questions in here, nothing too crazy. Please, participants, drop questions in the Q&A. We're happy to answer them. Donna asked, what is your take on all the AI use? Artificial intelligence, for those who don't know it, has the potential to take over the world in the next decade or so. I don't think that's going to happen because I believe in old school mortgage broker and real estate agent relationships, just like everybody on this call. Strongest partnership in any industry. But yeah, AI is great. Like if you use it the right way, it can help you grow your business. If you can use it the right way, it can help you create marketing emails in 5 minutes. Sure, it has its negatives, but so do I. But if you use AI in the right way, it's going to help you grow your business. I don't necessarily believe it's the most well-written email, but it is a good idea breaker. If you have an idea if you want help growing your business and you're not the most creative person in the world, write a question in ChatGPT and it's going to help you with some solutions. Let's see what else we got.
Hey, Sam, we had someone farther up actually ask if we could do maybe a role play or just kind of explaining how we or our panelists might pitch agents on the Buy Before You Sell program, how it works, how they're kind of talking them into it, if you will.
Yeah, sure. Any panelists want to answer that? I'm happy to take it unless anybody wants it.
I can talk on it, Sam.
Yeah, Blake does it every day.
Yeah, every day. So, depends who you're speaking to, right? If you're talking to a listing agent, I would say to the listing agent, have you ever sat down at the table with the customer, talking to them about selling their house, and then to find out later that they have concerns about selling because they're worried about bridging into their new loan, or they're worried about where the interest rates are, or they're worried about what their mortgage payment's going to be, or they're worried about getting the funds from their sale to do their new house. Those are all opportunities to bring up buy before you sell. Remember, with this product, you can actually leverage almost all those things. You can take interest rate out of the concern, because those customers might think, oh, well, I'm buying my new house, I haven't sold my current, I need to now finance 95% at a higher interest rate. I'm not going to be able to afford that payment. So what we're able to do is then say to them, hey, use the buy before you sell, use the equity unlock, you're financing less of a loan amount. Therefore, does the interest rate matter? Of course it matters, but when you're financing maybe $150,000 less, they can actually afford that payment. We also, Sam and I bridged into this. This is more of a higher level talk, but you can use that equity unlock to pay off debt and make the new mortgage cheaper. So you might actually be able to really makeshift the numbers around a little bit. So that's how I tell the agents, here are the things that they need to look out for when they're talking to a prospective seller about the concerns on maybe why they won't sell. Then I also bring it up when I'm talking to listing agents for my buyers. I ask the listing agent, this is a little bit off the topic, but I think it's good knowledge. When I'm talking to the listing agent selling my buyer, I ask them about their seller. I want them to tell me, oh, my seller is contingent on selling this house. This is why this offer is so important. And then light bulb goes off. Oh, let me tell you about this buy before you sell product that we have, just so your buyer isn't, or your seller isn't in a rush position again to sell again.
Thank you, Blake. Yeah, phenomenal answer. Whenever I sell this product or recommend this product to a loan officer, I typically go into this piece of inception that's to this product. Sure, it's a home light product being offered through the loan store or being offered directly to Blake or however that works, right? But please use buy before you sell as your modern bridge solution, right? What did you have before to market yourself to agents? A 24-hour turn time for a pre-approval, right? Well, now you have the best marketing tool in the business because you're going to help their pending sale contingent clients. And the goal would be for Stacy, the realtor who you've been buying coffee for 5 years, thinking of you first because she trusts you. She understands how fast you work, how well you treat your clients. And now you're providing buy before you sell, not some random lender with a loan officer she's never heard of before. Amazing marketing tool. Jim, and this kind of relates back to the agent conversation as well. And Blake touched on this earlier, but compare 2.4% to the client's other solutions for these agents. One, these agents are going to double dip on commission. They're most likely going to be the listing agent and the selling, or the listing agent and the buyer's agent, right? Massive opportunity for them. But let's compare 2.4 to submitting a pending sale offer. What's the dollar number there? Or let's compare a client who wins a home with a pending sale offer. How low do they have to drop their listing to sell their home in 15 to 25 days? All of a sudden, 2.4 and buy before you sell is not only the most convenient solution for Jim, the buyer, it's also the most cost-effective solution in many circumstances. And once that clicks in an agent's brain, it typically goes a lot smoother, and they understand the value prop there. Does there need to be special approval from our mortgage companies to use HomeLight? Is that a concern? Michael, maybe we can talk offline. I don't know who you're with, but yes, technically we do need approval to use buy before you sell. We do have underwriter or we follow Fannie Freddie guidelines, but sometimes we need the thumbs up from the credit risk manager for whatever reason. Mike, we'll talk about that offline. Maybe I'll make sure to share my contact information and we can talk later today. Thank you. What if the home is already having trouble selling? We're going to share, or excuse me, during our approval process, we're going to make sure that this home is likely to sell in the next 90 days. That's what we're looking at, is how likely is this home to sell to an outside buyer within the next 90 days. If we don't think it's likely to sell, say it's in a super rural area, we'll actually most likely not approve it. It doesn't come around too often, but that's what we're looking at during our approval process. Any other questions before I jump into a social media shout out? No? Okay. Feel free to reach out with questions after as well. We're happy to help. Bit of a plug here. Join us on Instagram. Shout out to Instagram team and social media team. I think we'll be announcing some new products in the upcoming months. We'll be announcing some new ideas, new concepts, and we always want to interact with our partners. Instagram or LinkedIn, or add me on LinkedIn, and I'll bug you every once in a while, but with mostly cool masterminds like this. We are giving away AirPods. They wanted to give away my actual headphones or headset, but we decided to go with AirPods. They're a little bit more modern, and go from there. So if you've joined us today, we're going to put you in the raffle for the AirPods. Hopefully you win. We'll reach out to you via email after this and make sure you have it. If you're not registered for access to this product, please go to lender.homelight.com or email us at lenders@homelight.com, right? Lenders@homelight.com. That is how you get in touch with our team. We respond relatively quickly. We have a small but mighty team here, and we're growing. Couldn't be happier to say that we're growing. John, sorry, you're going to see some new team members over the next few weeks, but it's going to be a good thing. And they are experts at buy before you sell, and they've been with the company for a long time. On our website, we've got an equity unlock calculator where you can estimate what your home's or what your client's going to be able to access if they use buy before you sell. We've got our resource hub, which is where you can find any blank marketing materials. You can submit a client, find FAQs, watch a two-minute animated video that you can share with clients or share with your agent partners. But that's about it. I can't thank my panelists enough. That was amazing. Thank you for coming. We're going to share your contact information. I think you all gave us a thumbs up on that to hopefully spike some conversations. This group is phenomenal at brainstorming. Clearly they enjoy it. But if you want to say anything else, please do. But I can't thank you enough for joining us.
Well, thanks for having us, Sam. We appreciate it. And at least for myself, I'll speak for myself. If anybody wants to reach out to me directly and, pick my brain a little bit more, I'm more than happy to be available for that. So.
Yeah, 100%. Always willing to help. If you can give back, I think it's a great thing to do, and vice versa. And guys, thank you so much for having me as well.
Thanks for putting this together, Homelight team.
Of course, you guys are phenomenal, experts in the industry. Can't thank you enough.
Great job, everybody. Appreciate the time.
All right. Thank you. That's it. I think that's a wrap. We'll send you an email with a recap and the recording in case you want to show it to your friends or show it on Thanksgiving dinner, whatever you guys do, and go from there. Happy Thanksgiving, right? Is it too early to say that? Or see you next year. Is it too early for that one?
Yeah, way too early. Let's not do that. Thanks, guys. Everybody have a great day.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
See you, everybody.
Bye.